Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are here with a new lecture which is related to the plot construction in Oedipus Rex. In the previous lecture, we have explained and discussed the story and background of Oedipus Rex, and we have also discussed the themes, motifs, and symbolism in another lecture. This is the third lecture on this play. Let's begin. The plot of Oedipus Rex. The plot of Oedipus Rex is so remarkable that the drama has been called one of the most perfect dramas in terms of the plot construction. That is why Aristotle took it as a model of tragedy in his book The Poetics, where he has explained what is tragedy, what is tragic flaw, and what is tragic hero. The plot of this play is precise, it is thematically compact, well knitted, and the action progresses quickly. Sophocles introduces nothing that would not be demanded by the thematic significance and the unity of the plot. This means that the writer of the play, Sophocles, has not included any event or scene which is not needed. The play unfolds all necessary actions in the span of approximately a single day, happening in the royal palace of Thebes, the place in the Greeks. However, within this single revolution of the sun, Sophocles has brought to light the total life of King Oedipus since his birth. Now, this is one very artistic by the writer. In one single day action, Sophocles has discussed all the life of King Oedipus since his birth till the tragic end. The beginning, where the flashback technique is used by the writer, the dramatist has made a subtly designed technique of flashback revelation for this purpose. The play starts with the present time where Oedipus is standing in front of his palace, but then the writer refers back to his past and his birth and the story of Oedipus through flashback technique, and then the drama moves forward. The play begins with the search for the cause of the plague, which is in Theb, but the investigators, as well as a certain chance happening, all lead to the actions swiftly into the main concern of the king's birth and past action, the Oedipus' birth and his actions. Once Oedipus' curiosity about his past action is triggered by the writer in the first scene or the prologue, by the queen mention of Pokis, Oedipus begins to investigate about his past. Now he's taking interest in his part and now he wants to find out the secrets related to his birth and his life and his crimes and his past actions. This lead to more findings and more curiosity about his birth with the arrival of that messenger, the Corinth messenger who had taken him to the king of Corinth, and he finally reaches to complete knowledge about his birth, his past, and his crimes within the span of a single day. What has happened in the last half century is very skillfully uncovered during the course of a single day investigation. Now, this is what very much important in this play, and that is that the writer has included all the details which has all these details that have taken place in 50 years, and all these details he has covered in a single day action in this play. There is another technique used by the writer, retrospect technique. The plot of Oedipus Rex is designed in such a way that the drama moves forward in action but backward in revelation. This means the action goes forward. First, we see uh, the king Oedipus is very much curious to find out the killer, the murder of the king Lois, and then the action goes in forward and he meets the Tiresias and the Creon, and now the action goes forward, but it also goes backward through flashback and retrospect technique, where through characters discussions they dig out the past actions of King Oedipus in order to show the reader what has happened before this scene or this present time. Beside this, Sophocles has also made extensive use of dramatic irony as a part of dramatic plot. You know, dramatic irony, the audience know that Oedipus is the killer, but Oedipus does not know. It is believed that the ancient Greek theaters, the audience, they were aware of the story of the play in advance, and then they were looking and watching the play, and they were discovering different themes. So it is dramatic irony, the process of backward movement in terms of knowledge. Each step taken by Oedipus contributes to the discovery and at the same time shocks the audience. Classical unities, the unity of time, place, and action, has been followed by the writer. The plot construction of the play is essentially based on the classic norms of the unity of time, place, and action. The unity of time means that the play must not cover a course of time not more than a single day. In Oedipus Rex, also the whole plot of the play, the action, unfolds in the course of just a single day. It is a belief of the classical dramatists that the course of too long a period would seem artificial and hence an obstacle in the lifelikeness of the drama. To maintain the classical norm, the present play focuses on the last part of the Oedipus' life, where the whole truth about his life gets credibly exposed in a single day. The unity of place and action. The unity of place means that the happenings in the plot of a play must be set in places not too far away from each other so that they will be credible to the audience. The action of the Oedipus Rex happens in front of the palace of the king Oedipus, except some small scenes that take place inside the palace. All the play they takes place in front of the palace. The play is indeed made up of four scenes added with a prologue and epilogue, but all these scenes take place only within the compound of the palace. The unity of action means that all the actions, incidents, and events happening should be strictly related to the central thematic issue. Here, the problem of Oedipus' birth, fate, and past action is the central issue. From the very opening, nothing but impulse and need to discover the murderer drags the play forward. Structural patterns in the play. The design of the plot of this play can be seen in a very structural pattern of several kinds. First of all, the plot can be seen as designed according to the standard classical norm. A prologue is there. The drama begins with a prologue by introducing the character situations and also revealing the past background of the King Oedipus. Then the body of the drama is that is followed. It is made of episode and actions, and these are in four scenes. These episodes are inter they are interrelated by one odd after each of them. Every scene ends with a start and ends with an odd. And the drama ends with an exodus or exit, which is also the resolution of the denouncement of the play. Now, this is the structural classical pattern that has been followed by Sophocles in this play. Then we talked about prologue. So the prologue shows us a group of people lying pleading in front of the palace of the mythical king Oedipus. When the king comes and asks what the matter is, the eldest, who is the priest, replies him. During this dialogue, we learn about the priest condition of the Theban, the present condition of the Theban, the plague, the past of the glorious King Oedipus, who had solved the riddle of the Sphinx and saved them from the misery. This exposition also very well highlights the character of Oedipus as a good and a great king who is losing his sleep over the problem of the plague in the city. Then finally, this prologue, this preliminary scene also establishes the atmosphere and mood of the tragedy. Like the first act of the modern dramas, this scene introduces the basic problem. The inciting event here is the message brought by Creon that there is a murder of the old King Louis and that the defilement who should be removed from the country. This gives a decisive push to the action of the drama, powerful motive to the actions of Oedipus, and a dramatic tension in the minds of the audience. Then after prologue we have ode. The prologue is followed by an ode, but the first ode is called Parados in literary terms, are the entry in the manner of the stately marching by the chorus, just like the first scene is called prologue instead of scene 1. If the first scene prologue is the entry of the character, the first ode Parados is the entry of the chorus. This is very simple. This was a ritual formula still common in Sophocles' time. In the first ode, the chorus sighs about the misery of the Thebans and the necessity and the greatness of the gods they pray and make us feel the intensity of their grief, and the representative of the citizens of the city is the representative of the citizen. Now we have the first scene, the first episode, in which we can see that the king has declared his intentions to punish the culprit. He is forced with the unexpected information that he is himself the evil person that he is seeking, thinking that the old trick has been used by Creon. Oedipus simply dismisses him and accuses Creon. Thus, the conflict branches out and intensifies. But the audience, as well as the chorus, becomes suspicious as to whether Oedipus is himself the sinner in any way, is yet unknown to him. In fact, the Greek audience used to know the story in advance, and they used to explore the theme of the drama in unique way that the particular dramatist has focused. To this intensified dramatic situation, the course aids with it another emphasis on the importance of the Delphic gods of prophecy. We are shocked, though the chorus in their second appearance, first ode says that these words of Tiresias, the prophet, are lies, for they think they were spoken in anger or out of the conspiracy, and the words were that Oedipus is himself the sinner. Then we have the second scene, and the second scene begins with previous conflict between Oedipus and Creon, which has now become public, but it quickly leads us into a second unexpected information from the queen, when the queen gives Oedipus an example of how false the oracles can be, namely the story of her son who was thrown in the forest, in the mountains. She happens to mention that her previous husband was killed at a place named Phocas instead of being killed by their own ill fated child, which they threw. This mention of the place of Lois' murder shocks Oedipus, and he begins to believe that the blind Tiresias. Now the plot further develops with more rapidity. They send for the shepherd who had seen the murder of the lice. This episode is appropriately followed by second ode in which the chorus again emphasizes the frailty of man before the gods, as well as the inevitability of a rule of fate and the gods. They also add that the tyrant is the child of pride and will be caught up in the net of pain, signaling that Oedipus is the son of pride and the fated tyrant. Then we have the third scene. The third scene begins by showing that the proud Oedipus has been humbled, but again, another piece of unexpected information shocks him. Instead of shepherd, a messenger from Corinth arrives to tell him that Polybus, his father, is dead. But before Oedipus the time to shout in happiness, he is told that Polybus was not his biological father. This brings still another branch to the plot, at least in the eyes of Oedipus. But we soon find that Oedipus is gathering relevant details for his investigation about the murder of Lois. At this point, Oedipus gets the feeling that he has killed the old king, and so he might have to leave his dear Thebes. He doesn't know the rest of the story. Irony builds up as in no other drama. The scene is again followed by a chorus lyrically expressing the wish that we knew the future. They would also like Oedipus to be the son of gods, but alas, this is not so. He is not the son of gods. The fourth act brings about the crisis most dramatically, and it is the climax of the play. The drama now comes to a close with yet another arrival. For the most terrible truth, the information brought by the old shepherd tells Oedipus how he has been running into the very ditch of misery which he has consciously been trying to avoid. The discovery and the reversal of the event takes place at the same time. The resolution follows in the next scene, along with the change in the destiny of the main character and realization of the inevitable is inevitable. The chorus now chants a song of resignation and acceptance of man's frailty, weakness, and domination of fate. Here, the Oedipus, the old shepherd, told Oedipus that this is the whole story, and now Oedipus come to know that yes, I am the murderer of the old king. The last Exodus, in it is the typical classical pattern. The drama ends with Exodus, uh, or the exit of the character and the chorus. Oedipus is brought out after his offstage act of blinding himself on seeing the queen's dead body, and then he panics in the most heart-rending manner. He laments for all his past and his sins and his ill-fated life, and he also mourns for the destiny of his children. But his mind is full of conflicts of several kinds. Creon takes over the kingship and commands that he be taken inside for the moment before being driven away from the city. The drama ends with an emphatic thematic speech by the oldest member of the chorus, who tells the audience not to presume about life before the moment of death. In the conclusion, the plot of Oedipus Rex is perfect. Nothing is left loose or illogical. The utilities are maintained, and the actions and dialogues are fully convincing. There is a poetic justice, and there are all reasons for the audience satisfaction and emotional and intellectual participation. The process of unfolding the truth of the life and destiny of Oedipus also changes and enlighten the audience to realize their own human conditions. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Take care.